Hello, welcome to this conversation on the design exhibition Itim, Material Manipulations in Black. I'm Mavis Fuentebella and I will be asking questions to some of the country's creative minds today. In a time when things are rapidly changing, Itim invites people to take a pause and have a second look. What have we missed by overlooking images that are familiar, images that are in the shadows? Before proceeding to a conversation with our team designers, I would like to request SITEM's Executive Director, Pauline Suaco Juan, to welcome everyone.
Thank you, Mavis. And thank you, everyone, for joining us this afternoon. I'm very proud to present to you today ITIM, Material Manipulations in Black, albeit 6 months later than we originally intended. The container carrying the collection we were supposed to present in Fure Salone for Milan Design Week was already at sea when the Italian authorities declared a lockdown in Milan. And to make a long story short, we were forced to send the shipment back home. It was anticlimactic to say the least. And like most things about design, the dialogue that we developed around the collection proved to be too irresistible to tell. As Saiten moved its activities online, we found an opportunity to tell the story of Itim. And in the spirit of supporting Filipinos most of all, we find it rather fitting that Itim's first audience is you. Thank you to Tina Fernandez and the team at Afro in the alley at Caravan Plaza along Pasang Tamo for the literal space with which to show off the artisan techniques that have been passed on through generations. This exhibition is complemented by a digital presentation that our content creators, homeroom creatives, co-studio Erwin Romulo, together with our creative directors Rita Nazaredo and Gabi Lichauco, were able to expound on. And so I invite all of you to click on the microsite on the Fame Plus website to discover more of ITIM online. Today's live event brings together online and on site for the very first time in Fame Plus and is an exciting example of how we can make the new normal work for us from IRL to URL. Maraming salamat and back to you, Mavis.
Thank you, Pauline. Truly so exciting. At its core, ITM presents works that imagine a sustainable future for the environment and the communities involved in a purposeful craftsmanship, a bold statement amid our global culture of obsessive growth and fast track development. In the next few minutes, we will share with you a very short film. We will bear witness to works combining local design heritage and contemporary influences to create distinct, thoughtful pieces. Please watch this.
Washed in black, the objects ask that you take pause, that you come closer. If you move too quickly, as the world does, you'll miss its intricacies, its forms, and consequently, the stories embedded in its materials. The pieces in the show were once exhumed from mental and physical warehouses of outstanding Philippine designers, originally fated never to be seen. We unearthed them for Itim, ideas to be kept alive and meant to be felt. Our craftsmanship is our heritage. Our innovations in material manipulation is our continued legacy. Please Step into the shadows with us.
So much amazing work, guys. Let's welcome our curators for ETN. Rita Nazareno is an Emmy Award winning television producer whose shift to design is a product of passion and family ties. The creative director of Zacarias 1925, a brand of hand woven bags and home accessories. Gabby Chauco is an industrial designer who has participated in the Venice Biennale and Milan Triennale. He runs the design firm Open Studio and is a professor of design and the head of special projects at the College of Symphony. In the last 2 years, Rita and Gabby curated Kindred, a design collective, a group of Manila famed exhibitors that represented the Philippines at Maison et Objet in Paris, a project by Simon. Tisha de Borja Sampson is an architect and interior designer. Tisha is also the curator of E. Murio, a heritage furniture maker for over 30 years. Let's start talking, guys. All the intros done. Welcome, Gabby, Tisha.
Hello.
Hi.
Right. Let's start with Rita and Gabby. As visionaries for this exhibit, what was your intention? Well, before anything else, congratulations.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I feel so attached to the project. I'm like, we're here. We're going to talk about it. Okay. So, what was the intention behind all this?
Well, I'll start. For our part, Pauline had asked us to pitch for this design exhibit. It's a more contemporary take on design exhibits rather than a trade show. So I had taken part in Salone del Mobile before, and our Philippine booth, very nice, but it was in the kilikili of one of the halls, like the least enviable of locations. So I thought it was like a great idea on Pauline's part to do an exhibit that will show another side of the design and the creative and the manufacturing prowess of the Filipinos and really be seen. So show it in a fantastic location and setting, invite press, collectors, buyers, the public. So Gabby and I helped narrow the location down from a list of possibilities. We selected the one in Spazio Corazzeni, next to Piazza San Marco, with its own independent entrance and windows visible from the street. Really cool. I mean, it was in the heart of the Brera district. This ain't your lawless kilikili, man. And, we wanted a vibrant, creative hub, with drinks and films and dialogues and talks happening. Margarita Forres was even going to cater, and she had a menu focusing on like Itim and Filipino food with, black squid ink and, but then the
That was so
pandemic
exciting, but never happened.
yeah.
So
The
sad.
pandemic happened and here we are. So,
But what
but
did you want
actually,
them to
in
feel?
your
Rita,
house,
with all this, what did you want them to experience about the Filipino? What are you trying to
you, I was actually in your house in San Francisco, Mavis, no? When we parang I came up with this presentation that was the seed that Gabby and I worked on. So sometimes things come to you not fully expressed yet, but you just have to trust that it will unravel. And this was one of those. I had always been interested in things that were kept in the shadows that, are never shown because they aren't commercial enough. And they wondered what other companies had that they just don't show. Gabby, you want to add?
Yeah. When Rita got in touch with me and said, "Oh, we're looking at for Pauline was looking at doing the exhibition outside Raw. Raw is the venue where all the trade shows are, where all businesses are done, and it's going to be in 40." I said, "Oh, that's totally a different level. It's something that." Where all these other countries, different pavilions from different countries, big brands, big designers, all participate in. It's just really a showcase of a global design environment. So when Rita approached me and said, "Hey, let's pitch for this idea," I said, "Okay, what do you have in mind?" And she's like, "Black." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I'm like, sige, sige, interesting. So yeah, let's come up with let's work around with that and see who we can tap into. These are manufacturers, designers as well. Since we've been with the industry for quite some time, we know most of the companies already. We know what their strengths are, their materials, and the designers behind their works, right? Or even they themselves. So um, so that's how we started working. We started throwing in ideas on who to get, what do we want to focus on for this exhibition, and that's how it goes. That's how it went. Yeah.
We've talked about this, and I want you guys to shed light on it. The tension between artistry and commercial viability. Um, I'm sure that's always in the minds of all the brands and designers. Can you just elaborate your role with that tension when you were putting together the concept?
Well, for me, I've always enjoyed that line between art and design, and I think that shows with the team. And I've always said this, often enough, I think good design is good design. That's where we always have to start. Who makes it, where it's made, how it's made. They're just part of it. But good design is good design. And for me, it's always been an interest between, something artistic, something commercial. So, Gab?
Well, I've always liked that idea wherein you kind of push the boundaries between design and art. There's like I think any creative person would probably have the same process along the way. For us designers, it's moving forward to developing these ideas into a more commercial viable pieces. But in that process, we're all kind of, I would say, the same. I mean, everybody's conceptual, right? And that's what we wanted. Rita and I we wanted to bring out are these concepts that were never either are being developed now or were developed way back many years ago, maybe 5, 8 years ago, that were just shelved because they weren't commercially viable, but of high quality of craftsmanship. I think that's what we wanted to show. Yeah.
It was time for that to shed light on that artistry this time around.
Yeah.
That was a priority. Gabby, how was it difficult to convince Pauline and the team to be comfortable with black?
Tough.
How was
Very
that?
tough.
I was actually
um,
there when you guys were panicking. Okay, but
yeah, we
I
had to.
remember the moment, but go ahead, Gabby. Share with us the experience.
So it was like throwing back and forth with Rita, the initial idea, right? And then, so when we pitched it, Pauline's like, guys, medyo hilaw. But I like it.
Lie
Medyo
down.
hilaw.
Lie down.
So I
Lie
said,
down.
um, okay, okay, let's work on it. Let's work on the narrative a bit furthermore, and see. Hopefully, what we come up with, and just to expand the whole narration of the exhibition, and yeah, it was a lot of editing on our part, and
Was
then,
that when
then
you went into this whole let's bring out designs from the shadows and those in the stock? Was that when that developed? Because I guess if you had just said initially everything in black, when they said give me more, was it when you kind of had to dig deep and say, okay,
I,
how was that how it happened? I can't recall.
Yeah, because there were quite a few things. Because we did stuff that were out, like we found stuff in like the warehouses of say like Wataru that was literally just like from the shadows. And he was like, it's just it wasn't commercial enough. That's why he couldn't show it. And then we also designed some new pieces that that was out of this mindset of things that were discarded. So, for example, the TSM piece installation of 250 bone china crumpled paper. So that came from the idea that when we design and draw something out on paper and throw those paper out, and that's the discarded thoughts that are in your mental crevices. So it was a mix of reimagined pieces and new pieces. Yeah.
Love that. The crumpled paper is actually one of my favorite installations of that. Tisha. Hi, Tish.
Yes. Hi.
All right. I want to, well, first of all, I also just recently understood the mechanics of how these things work. You, as an exhibitor, it's actually an investment too for you, right? And I want to ask,
Yes.
what made you join IKEA? Like, how did these guys convince you to join?
But I think we've talked about this before. And when you're doing this kind of show and you have creative director, it's really you have to be able to trust in their vision and in them also. So with Rita and Gabby, we're friends and everything, but there's also a very high level of trust where I know that they, even when I'm not sure exactly I am going with this, that they see a facet of our work, of our ideas, and then they bring it out. And in the end, it's always been something that we have been so proud of.
It's so cool. And I guess it's that openness, no? But if you don't trust, it's so hard to be open.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. But when you trust someone, you're like, okay, let's go at it together. But I have to say, there's sorry to bring it up, but you were saying the other day, like when your mom sees, God, gives me grief. Well, sorry, I can relate right now. But I mean, I also, can you say a little bit more about that? Because I think it's funny, but it captures a moment, I think, in the design process where you're asked to step out of your comfort zone. And yes, there's so much discomfort and grief and all that there. So can you just kind of share like tidbits of the story?
Yeah, I think, well, we specifically had this piece there called Iru, the doghouse. And it was designed by Patricia Eustachio. And for Patty, it's really about playing with materials and trying them out in places where they haven't gone before. And so I think the process of trying something new invokes a kind of internal agitation. And you just have to ride that out, live through it. And it always helps to have those people that you trust to just, I've texted Gabby and Rita at I don't know what time, like 1 a.m, and say, okay, guys, this is it. I'm here. I have this idea, but it's the smallest germ possible. Where can this go? And sometimes nothing happens. We kind of worked on a chair, just throwing out random ideas maybe 6 years ago. And a few months ago, we launched this chair with Halo Halo. And it was me, Gabby, Rita, and Patty who just threw ideas into this chair, literally. So I think you just have to wait it out and then trust that the process will take you somewhere.
I think to have that safe space, no, amongst your colleagues. That's really
Yes, definitely.
you never know. There are risks to take, but if you take it together, there's so much, no? Thank
A
you.
safe floating space.
Thank you, Tisha. Before we
Thank you.
wrap this up, I wanted to just ask Rita, is there anything you want to share? I know Tisha's one of the exhibitors, but there are many that are part of this contributed to this exhibit. And the whole concept of material manipulation. In case you want to say something, you, Rita, Gabby, share something about the process and the other people that you worked with before we met.
I wanted to add, there's some fantastic designers and manufacturers that we've had for ITIM. I wanted to share about JB Plus Woodcraft, and we made this like about 5 foot tall candelabra puzzle. So it's a set of it's a set of candelabras that turn into a puzzle, and it's this huge thing. It came out of like Maison of J. We made smaller ones, and now we made a giant one for ITM, and I really enjoyed that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the highlights as well which was one of the last pieces that we included, was Vito's barrel dress. It was funny. We were browsing through his Instagram and said, because we were supposed to bring in really the double peacock chair, the giant one. So we said maybe we can look for another piece from a designer who's not that did something that's not furniture related. And when I saw that, and perfect, I think Vogue Italia caught it also, maybe a month or a few months before. I think there was an event in Manila Fame as well, I think with the fashion side. So I said, oh, this is enough. This is perfect. At least there's a diversity in the exhibition. Again, because we wanted as the space itself, not just furniture design, but also we wanted to bring in a bit of Filipino cuisine. That's why we invited Margarita. So it's a whole orchestration of ideas altogether, like a whole Philippine creative of all different industries altogether.
Actually, speaking
Thank
of that
you.
barrel dress, it was so interesting also, and you could see like this parang culture of Filipinos also, because it was originally a natural brown, and but you know, Vito is in Cebu, his factory is in Cebu, but the dress was already in Manila. So it was JB's sister from South Sea, who actually South Sea from Pampanga actually helped make the dress black and everything. So it's from a completely different factory. So you see this, like, this spirit, and then in this, tulungan of everybody. So that was really fantastic.
Love it. Such a great story, guys. Congratulations. Really, what a feat to put this together and to keep it alive. And that's, I think, the next thing we're going to talk about. Thank you. Thank you. Originally set to debut at Milan Design Week, these pieces were recalled in the middle of it all. Now they're back home. Let's bring back Pauline to talk about this pivot.
Hi, Mavis.
Pauline, you're back. Galeng, Pauline. It's just I actually feel really privileged to. I mean, I was just listening as Rita's friend as this all happened, and it's quite an honor for me to to be part of this conversation. Sorry, I just had to say that, but yeah. So let's talk about the pivot. Um, I can just imagine what was going on when I heard it was postponed, then eventually canceled, and then it was everything was back here in the Philippines. And so, what to do now? Can you take us through that experience and what was going on in your head?
I think the stories behind Itim were really compelling, and none more so to Rita and Gabby, right? Who were really the instigators of this whole thing. So they're like, we gotta exhibit it here. So I said, okay, fine. Let's find if we can find a gallery who's willing to do it, then let's go. Because even if we were not able to exhibit this in Milan, there is still a way for Milan to view it online, right? And so since we knew that we were going to launch Fame Plus, we thought, I thought, how could I, transform or use all that energy that we did to produce the collection, um so that people could see it again, and obviously the answer was content, right? So I said, okay, but we're this will have to be content for Fame Plus and for a digital audience. So we had to reimagine everything.
Love it.
So what Rita was saying earlier, our team had designed the collection specifically for the site in Milan, and now we had to redo the arrangement or the layout to fit Afro. Actually, a huge thanks goes out to Tina Fernandez, who you know s- saw the stories, the effort, the artistry behind the products that we carry. And I don't think she even like blinked, right, when we asked her.
She did that. She's like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So and I think by showing it in an art gallery, it also sets the stage for a different kind of experience. So what we wanted to do was there bring the art gallery experience of the installation to people who might want to view it in its physical form. But then we also had to work with our content creators to tell the story online. Originally, the things that we shot, no, Rita, were all black and white because they were supposed to be photographs and material that we were supposed to use on site.
Yes.
And then, so when we were trying to put it online, it was like, guys, it's not working because black dies on a page, right? So, and it wasn't photographed to be laid out black after black after black. And I'm really, really, really quite happy with the collaboration with Homeroom. I guess Rita can tell us a little bit about um, working with
Yeah.
them because they brought such fresh ideas to the
It was
digital rendition.
it really was quite fantastic. I mean, the pivot that, well, it then became a selling show, but also Homeroom Creative came on, and because we wanted a digital space, and Homeroom really got it, and they got it from the film to the microsite to the photographs, and they ran away with it. So it actually seemed very organic how it all came about, and that was, and again, thank you to Homeroom, thank you to Gabby actually, because I couldn't go out because of the lockdown. Gabby for like 5 days straight was like, installing in it with Nikki in Afro. So, and it was such a team effort. It really, really quite was fantastic. So thank you to everybody.
That's actually what's so amazing when people kind of come together and just
Yeah.
you do what you can. And hats off really to Tina and to Homeroom too. I saw it. I've been to Afro and I saw Homeroom's work. Really great job. And so glad that you found partners that aligned with you and that
Yeah.
understood you and that believed you. Well,
Yeah.
as you said, Pauline, I was gonna pick it up. Instigator talaga si Rita. Talaga, I think that's her instigador. All right. Well, all is well now. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't easy, yeah, for all of us, for all industries, but you guys have found this amazing solution and new opportunities.
Yeah, and I think it's a good example of how creatives working together um, in the pandemic. How you rise above this situation that's befell on us, and try to produce really good material in spite of, and in the pandemic notwithstanding, diba? Because I'm really proud of the out the outcome, and would be glad to show it even if even if there were no pandemic.
It's so fascinating how, I mean, we were all physically isolated for a very long time, right? But somehow I just feel this deep connection that's coming out of that isolation. It's so surreal, right? I mean, your story is that. It's like all these connections that maybe, like as you said, Rita, you never really envisioned when you thought of ITM a year ago. It was a year
Yeah.
ago, right? This is absolutely nothing like what you probably planned back then.
Yeah.
What did I have to tell you? She was under the covers meeting you in San Francisco, shushing everyone. And, but I'm sure at that moment, this was not even on the horizon.
Yeah.
But you remain open and you see where nature takes you. And amazing, amazing job, guys. Congratulations.
Thank
Pauline, would
you.
you like to invite them to view with him?
Yes. Everybody, please log on to Fame Plus. The microsite of ITIM is there for your digital experience of this wonderful, wonderful collection, ITIM material manipulations in black. I'd also like to invite everybody to come and visit, if you can, the on-site exhibition at Afro. It's located in the alley at Caravan Plaza along Pasong Tamo. So it's quite a fun. I haven't been there myself actually, but it's quite a fantastic setting, and really a great, especially if you get to see it up close. A spectacular example of the artistry and of our exhibitors, and of our design companies, in terms of material manipulation. So they really are masters at that. Um, and who knows, you might want to buy a piece or two. Thank you, Mavis.
Thank you, Pauline. Rita, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for listening in on this conversation, everybody. This is Mavis Fuentebella. Have a good day.